I won't get completely sozzled. A whole day of Christmas shopping condensed. It'll be fine tomorrow. What did I do? I got out of my tree, I did. And doing Christmas shopping the next day was not pleasurable. However, we pretty much got everything sorted. We have had a little bit of help from dear Mr. Bezos for more of the slightly more special interest gifts. But I was going to ask you guys, because you like your fine wines, you like your fine coffees and that sort of thing. Have you ever got someone a Christmas gift, like a perishable Christmas gift, and you think, actually, I want that. I want a bit of that.
Yeah.
So we
and
may
you just change your mind at the last minute.
Yeah, we may have got a relative a very, very nice bit of Welsh cheese. Oh. And we bought one for ourselves while we were there. And we thought, right, we'll put the other one in the fridge. We'll have this one ourselves. And then it got to about a week later, and we thought, oh, no, we've not got any cheese. So we went round the shops trying to find some quality cheese. And we thought, oh, we've got that cheese in the fridge, though, for dear relative so-and-so. Oh, we'll get another one. It's fine. The cheese is gone. We're in lockdown. You know, it's up the wall.
So you're living on a diet of Coronas, limes, and artisanal cheese. Is that
this is it? Yeah. That's pretty much it. Dear relative so-and-so is getting a baby bell, and I'm getting gout.
Nice, but not scurvy, which is
not
good.
Scurvy. No, that's it. So yeah, it's been an interesting one. Yeah.
I don't know about you, gents, but I'm getting a little bit thirsty.
Yeah, I'm right at the end of this beer, actually. Yeah.
Is it time for a wee top up?
Hey.
So I've.
What are you going for?
Today, I'm going whiskey. However, I'm in a zhuzhy mood. Something a little bit swanky. I thought I'd make an old-fashioned.
Oh, very nice.
Right. Yeah, just in the mood for it. So perhaps I'll just make one and we'll cut, and then we'll come back when I've made this drink. Mm-hmm. Is that all right? Cool. Just because it takes a few minutes.
Yeah, no, fine, mate. No, take your time. Fine. We ain't got nothing better to do.
No, we won't cut it out of the podcast. It'll just be silent for 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll eat your cheese in the meantime.
I'll be back in a sec. So, gentlemen, I'm back, and I have old-fashioned in hand.
Yes.
All right. Talk us through it.
So, a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. A spoonful of sugar straight in the glass that you're drinking out of. Mm-hmm. Also, a slice of orange, maraschino cherry, one of those sort of like really syrupy red cherries that you get, cocktail cherries. Pop that in there, and then basically like muddle that around so that the sort of the juice from the cherry and the orange sort of like soaks into the sugar. So keep mixing that. Then a whole load of ice, mix it round even more, just big cubed ice, and then basically just top it up with bourbon or rye or a sort of an American style whiskey. So yeah, and I just free pour basically, just chuck that bourbon in there. Give it a good mix up though, so the ice takes a little bit of the sting out of it, and yeah, job's a good one. Cheers.
Beautiful.
Oh, very nice.
Can't legally say what we've got, but cheers.
Oh man, what's the? Is there any much difference between that and a Rob Roy? Is it just a variation in the ingredients, or is it a completely different drink?
I think a Rob Roy is actually a Manhattan, but that's made with Scotch.
That's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
So you've got a Manhattan, which is bourbon or rye and sweet vermouth.
I see.
But yeah, if you were to use Scotch for that instead of bourbon or rye, you'd call it a Rob Roy.
Well, there we go.
But yeah, good shout. Good shout. I'm not sure what the term is for an old-fashioned made with Scotch. Somebody will probably have called it something, but yeah, it's usually an American one. I think just the flavours go better with the sugary oranginess.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Yeah.
Very nice.
Makes sense.
How about you, Greg? What are you drinking?
Okay, so on my quest to not open anything nice on my own, so I've reached the I said this last week, the nice bottles, and There's just something wrong about opening like a decent bottle you've been saving on your own. But
you can send us some.
I don't trust myself, mate. That's the problem. Yeah, I need someone. I need someone physically there to stop me from hoarding it all myself.
I get it. Yeah.
So no, you're right. I will. I mean, this is the last one. I think I've scoured the entire house, but I'm going for something that is readily available for everyone, every listener. Old number 7, Jack Daniels.
Oh yeah.
Old school Tennessee whiskey. So yeah, I mean, classic. We talked about this. I think you were having Jim Beam last week or the week before, and how I prefer Jim Beam to this. But you know, it's good. It's got a lot of memories attached to it, good and bad.
University memories.
100%. And I tell you what, with this, and I cannot get the smell of banana out of my head when I'm drinking and tasting this, which is not a flavour I would associate with any sort of bourbon or Tennessee whiskey in this case, but it's basically bourbon. There's just a weird sensation of banana in there. I do not know why. It's probably just me, but yeah. So maybe check next time you're drinking some Jack Daniels, have a look out for that, especially when you mix it with Coke. Maybe the combination with Coke is even more pronounced. But yeah,
one of those chemicals really pops, does it?
Yeah, yeah. And it is like an artificial banana as well. It's not a real banana. It's like full on like those yellow sweets you get, from the pick and mix.
I love those. They're so soft, aren't they? Like doughy.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Nice.
But yeah, that's good. That's good stuff.
Eric, what are you drinking?
Well, in my deprived lockdown state, and the fact that the podcast was brought forward, unfortunately I'm still on the Corona. However, I want to ask you guys a question, because you clearly know your whiskies, okay, and your scotches and your, all that sort of thing. Now, what would you say for someone who's wanting to get into Scotch, or someone who you want to get a Christmas present for, who isn't a big Scotch fan? What would be your number one Scotch to get them as a Christmas present to get them started?
Great question.
It's great.
I did a similar sort of thing for a listener a little while ago, and Greg, after the fact, offered another suggestion actually. So I think actually on hindsight, I'd go with what Greg said. So take it away, mate.
So I would suggest going for something that's going to sort of surprise them a little bit, because that's what got me into sort of whiskey in general. Is I accidentally just stumbled across a peated bottle of whiskey. Nothing crazy. So peated, obviously smoked whiskey. So nothing like insanely smoky like an Ardbeg or anything from Islay. But the one I had was a Tormore. But you could get something like a Highland Park or a Lechaig, or maybe the Glenmoray peated version that we were talking about recently, Adam.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So any of those sort of Highland peated whiskies, maybe a Talisker. I mean, that's on the smokier side, but it's still not quite as heavy as Islay. Or Jura, Superstition. There's loads of them. So like a semi-smoky whiskey they're gonna taste it, and then it's gonna taste like nothing they've ever had in their life. It's literally smoke in a drink, which I had never had to that point, and it completely blew me away when I had it. And then I'd had Jack Daniels before. I'd had the sort of the cheaper Jim Beams, that kind of stuff. So the sort of difference there just totally sparked my interest, and obviously the rest is history. So I would say go for something like that, and just sort of something with a little bit of a story behind it. Maybe, I don't know, somewhere that's like Highland Park's like the most northerly distillery, I think, in Scotland.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, you could. Every bottle's got some sort of story that comes with it, that sort of interests people. So that's what I would say.
You can often get Highland Park at a really good price as well, right?
Highland Park's good. It's going up there though, to be honest.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. The 12-year-old is. They're releasing a lot of non-age statement ones, like I forget the names of them now, like Dragon, and I think I got you one actually, didn't I, back in the day?
Oh, yes.
That was a non-age statement. That actually, those ones used to be more expensive than their 12-year, but the 12-year single malts now, I think, outpricing some of those. So
nice.
It is going up, unfortunately, but it's going up for a reason. It's good. Yeah. It's very, very good.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, so give that a go, Eric. Yeah,
excellent.
We always fly the flag of the supermarket just because you can get some decent stuff for cheap. But that's not to diminish the quality of some of these. You know, I know up your neck of the woods, isn't there? There's a great sort of spirits and tobacco place in Chester.
Yes,
up in your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you go to one of those places, they'll be able to give you some great advice.
Excellent.
I can't remember what it's called, but
I believe it's called.
Good.
I believe it's called Termus Lounge, and they have shops around the country. I mean, if you go over the border, you may have come across it. Penderyn. It's the sort of the classic sort of you've got a Welsh whiskey. So which Penderyn did you go for? It's, it's like that's the one.
In fact, was that my very first whiskey on the podcast?
I think it might have been, mate.
7 months ago, 8 months ago, whatever.
Good. The inner nationalist in me is pleased with that.
Quick word about that, actually. How do you get on with your own thoughts and your own feelings in terms of your nationalism? Because I hope you don't mind me saying you're from England originally, aren't you? But obviously you live in Wales now, and you've lived there for a little while. Like, do you consider yourself English, Welsh? Do you have a bit of half and half? Is there a bit of feeling? You know, does it make you rethink some of your thoughts on nationalism, or not? Or you know, just talk me through it. What do you feel about that sort of thing?
Well, in answer to your first question of what are you in the sense of nationality, well, of course, I'd say English first of all, primary. I'm not a believer of this sort of this concept where sort of the other countries around the United Kingdom, so sort of Welsh nationalism is very good, Scottish nationalism is very good, and Irish nationalism is positive, and so on, whereas English nationalism is bad, or sort of, you know, football hooligan-y, you know, white van, sort of the negative connotations. I think, you know, there are a lot of very good things about England, things to be very proud of.
You're talking about the perception of English nationalism, aren't you?
That's right. Yes,
not the reality, just the sort of social media,
the social media perceptions of it, and so on. When an individual who is proud of being English goes to Wales, you do have to have a think about things, because English history is a very long one, and it's not a 100% clean one. And certainly in the medieval ages, and, you know, policies adopted by the Westminster government even up to the last sort of 20, 30 years ago, have had a negative effect on certain parts of Wales. So it's very important to listen to local people and their histories and their sort of concerns, and potentially the ways that they feel they've been trampled on, and so on. You know, in particular, the language. Where I am up in North Wales, it's very strong language driven, the Welsh language. A lot of people are first language Welsh. My other half, she couldn't speak English until she was about 5 or 6. Wow. So it is very common up here, and it was only about 60 years ago the British government was trying to stamp it out. You know, they were changing all of the road signs. There was the Welsh knot in schools, which are, if you're not aware, it was a knot, like in a rope knot, and if a child was caught speaking Welsh in school, they would have it hung around their head and they'd have to wear it. And if you were wearing the Welsh knot at the end of the day, you would be beaten by the schoolmaster. And the only way to get rid of the Welsh knot was to dob in one of your mates who you know was speaking Welsh as well.
What?
And that was in the mid-60s. That was the mid-60s. My girlfriend's parents can remember it. Wow. They can remember it in school.
Yeah,
that's like some Gestapo tactics.
Well,
man.
it was.
That's some seriously hardcore stuff. I do not like that.
It was.
Grassing on your neighbour sort of style, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
If they're breaking the rules.
So all the teacher would have to do is keep a log of all the children who spoke Welsh. And, you know, if there was any sort of nationalist graffiti or anything like that, well, you've got a list of the culprits. And that's in the mid-60s. So, you know, it does take you back. And I do remember feeling when someone told me about that, one of the friends of mine who's a very strong Welsh nationalist, just, you know, they explained it to me. And I did feel very bad about it afterwards. That's, you know, one of the times where I sort of felt sort